Live from our studio in Georgetown.
Kaieteur Radio, 99.1 FM.
Good day. With your news at this time, I'm Kevin Smith. Vice President Dr. Bharat Jagdeo yesterday condemned a recent attack on Kaieteur News senior journalist Divina Bhagat via a Facebook platform. The PPP General Secretary said the social media post indeed made vile and disparaging statements about Bhagat, which should not have been said. Dr. Jagdeo was also keen to clarify that the comments do not in any way reflect the views of the government or the party. The official said he supports any legal action Bhagat should choose to take regarding the said derogatory comments. Several civil society actors have also joined in condemning the attack against Bhagat, as well as President of the Guyana Press Association, Nazima Raghubir. On Wednesday, the Oil and Gas Governance Network issued a written appeal to the nation's 24 women parliamentarians, urging that they too denounce all attacks against journalists here. In the letter addressed to the officials, the group was keen to point out that women members of parliament make up 37% of the policy leaders in the House and represent all political party positions, beliefs, and values of the Guyanese society. And moving on, a vice president has assured that the government is sparing no effort to ensure Guyana's legislative and regulatory systems are strengthened to address oil spills and related issues. His comment was in direct response to international lawyer Melinda Janke, who urged Guyanese on Wednesday to ponder how the government would handle a massive blowout similar to that of the tragic BP Macondo well blowout. He was keen to note that the very risk has not prevented Norway, Saudi Arabia, and the USA from becoming super wealthy from oil resources. He said the government has no intention of being fearful, adding that production will continue. The PPP General Secretary also said that the administration is taking steps to strengthen several pieces of legislation, as well as the relevant licenses and permits to ensure the country is well protected. Meanwhile, the World Justice Project on Thursday released their new Corruption in the Caribbean report, which paints Guyana in a grim light. The report examines perceptions of and experiences with corruption across 14 Caribbean countries, including Guyana. According to the findings of the report, a lot of Caribbean people believe public officials are corrupt. Drawing on nationally representative surveys, the report represents the voices of people in the 14 Caribbean countries and their experiences and perceptions of corruption in both the public and private sectors. On average, 80% of respondents in Caribbean countries believe that public officials frequently award government contracts to friends or relatives, and 66% believe public officials regularly request bribes. Additionally, 74% of people, on average, believe politicians frequently use public resources to benefit their own family. Meanwhile, President Ali on Wednesday commissioned a $535 million pilot vessel to be used by the Maritime Administration Department, which will cost $20 million to maintain annually. The vessel, PD Arapaima, was custom-built for Marid by Oshia Shipbuilding Limited in France. The 14-person vessel is built from aluminum. Notably, 10 persons were trained and certified to operate the boat. On Wednesday, President Ali, Minister of Public Works Juan Edgil, Deodat Indar, and other officials were at the commissioning ceremony of the vessel, hosted at the National Coast Guard headquarters at Ramp Road, Rheinfeldt. The head of state delivered the featured address at the event. And former regional vice chairman of Region 10, Byron Lewis, died on Wednesday night after he was involved in a vehicular accident on the Beehive Public Road, East Coast Demerara. According to a police report, the accident occurred just around 20 hours and involved the motorcar owned and driven by 48-year-old Ronis Lewis, a motorcar owned and driven by a 78-year-old man identified as Lewis and a motorcar driven by 33-year-old Bisham Prasad. And police on Thursday issued wanted bulletins for a couple allegedly involved in the murder of a policeman, Quincy Lewis, whose skeletal remains were dug up from a shallow grave on the Sus-Linen Highway on Wednesday. The couple has been identified as 56-year-old Thakur Dial Samaru of Lot 7 Ogle Front Road, East Coast, Amarara, and Zakibu Zahid Zafarali of the same address. The couple had reportedly fled the jurisdiction, but the force on Wednesday committed to using all legal avenues to extradite them back to Guyana. And to wrap things up, police on the east coast of Demerara are probing the death of Thakurdan Simangal, who was killed on Thursday morning after the motor van he was traveling in crashed into a parked truck on the Good Hope Public Road. According to information received, the fatal accident occurred just around 6 hours 10. The van was driven by 38-year-old Wilfred Sanasi, while 63-year-old Simangal of Thomas Street, Georgetown, was the lone passenger in the vehicle. Sanasi is currently hospitalized. And that does it for your news. I'm Kevin Smith. Thank you for listening.
Kaieteur Radio.
Covering Guyana from coast to coast.
Demerara